back ringside with Roy Jones. And Roy, Max brings up a very interesting point. Possibility of Daniel being matched against the winner of David Lemieux against Billy Joe Saunders. Middleweight title fight coming up December 16. Those are two extremely contrasting styles. Saunders, a boxer, counterpuncher. Lemieux, the premier, all-out attacking puncher with devastating power. Against which of those styles is Daniel better off?
I think he works well with either style. Anybody fighting Lemieux has to always be aware of that knockout punch power that he has, because he's a hell of a puncher. So that would probably work worse for Danny. Whereas the other guy, Billy Joe Saunders, is a boxer. Danny would probably fare better with a boxer, because I think he'll outbox Sanders, and he's probably a lot stronger than Sanders. But with Lemieux, there could be a problem, because he's not going to run from Lemieux all night. If Lemieux hits him hard, he showed tonight, he's going to sit back down and fight and try to get his lick back, and that could turn out to be not so good for him.
All right, but I think he might be favored against either guy.
I do too. I would pick him over either guy.
Yeah. All right. Back to Max Kellerman to finish out the evening. You know, you touched on a great point in there. People talk about how Daniel Jacobs has already beaten cancer, so therefore maybe these other opponents don't look as difficult to him. I kind of poo-pooed that one for a while, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's made him bigger and better as a human being.
Yeah, it seems like too pat a story, but I think it actually works that way in Daniel Jacobs' case. And as I mentioned earlier, who knows how that illness in him was affecting his performance, even against Pirog. Not to take anything away from Pirog, but he certainly looked like a different fighter post-operation for his cancer than pre. And he's in his physical prime, and he seems to be coming into his own increasingly in fight after fight. I want to mention something about Daniel Jacobs against the winner of Saunders-Lemieux if that fight is made. I agree with Roy. The more dangerous fight for him is the Lemieux fight, because if there remains a knock on Daniel Jacobs, it's this idea that he's chinny because of the Pirog fight and because he's been knocked down since then. For that reason, Jacobs-Lemieux is a more interesting fight. Jacobs would be favored in that fight because he is the better boxer, but Lemieux, if he beats Saunders, with his quick hands and huge punching power, would present a real obstacle, which, were Jacobs to overcome that obstacle, the idea, the specter of a fight between Jacobs and the winner of a Triple G Canelo fight would be an enormous middleweight championship showdown.
Max, one more thing. With all due respect to Harold Letterman, you are our Hebrew Hammer. So I believe we have to finish the evening with you making a final comment about Cletus Selden.
Well, as I said earlier, when I asked him what makes him special other than the big right hand, he said he's a white Jewish kid from Long Island. He understands that that's unusual in boxing in this day and age, but it's not just that he has a big right hand. He's very physically strong. They've crafted this kind of old school style that minimizes his exposure to risk in terms of facing superior boxers. He's not going to box anyone from the outside. He's going to get inside and minimize the experience difference and optimize his chances of landing that huge right hand. He has a pretty good left hook too. He's a genuine power puncher and an exciting fighter, and I look forward to seeing him again.
Absolutely. We had a whole crowd of people here tonight at the Nassau Coliseum who got to see Daniel Jacobs looking very good and probably want to see him again, but surely can't wait to see the Hebrew Hammer one more time. Thanks for being with us.